Hey, I'm Matt with Meat Church. Let's make this delicious turkey tetrazzini. Turkey tetrazzini, classic comfort food that we love in my house. This is something I actually usually make with leftovers after Thanksgiving. I intended to do this video last year, just ran out of time, and we've just come into some fresh turkey, so we thought let's just go ahead and make it now in the middle of comfort food season and put it in our comfort food playlist. So this recipe, you need 4 cups of cooked turkey. However you get there is fine, but today we're gonna use some wild turkey that my 12-year-old son shot this year out at our ranch, and so I breasted this stuff out. These are the first 2 turkeys that Sam has ever shot. So using a Montana knife, I just breasted these right out of the turkey. There sits the fan. So we're gonna season these up lightly. I don't want a seasoning that is like too crazy. I'm not looking for a barbecue seasoning, so I'm gonna use our seasoned salt, which is a really good, just kind of general flavor enhancer. People love it. A lot of dining room tables, and people put it on a lot of different things. So I'm gonna lightly season this, and then we're gonna smoke it. Smoking a lot of things today, so I've got my mill scale 94-gallon offset running back here. Running kind of hot, just over 300 degrees. That's not too important for this. All you gotta do is get these to 165. And if you don't wanna smoke your turkey, that's fine. This recipe does not have to be smoked. You can do all of this in your house. You can use any sort of turkey you want. We've got the tenderloins on these. You can buy just tenderloins at the store. It's the best part of a turkey. Or you can buy whole breast. Do whatever you want to get your cooked poultry. And then we're just gonna throw these in the smoker. We're gonna cook them to 165. This is wild game, so truthfully, I'm gonna pull it a little earlier than 165. I'm probably gonna pull this like 155 or so. Don't wanna dry it out. You gotta be really careful with wild game not to overcook it. So in the smoker these go, and I will see you when they're done. Well, the turkey is cooked. I decided, since this was wild turkey, it's somewhere in the 130s internal temperature. I put the turkey in a pan and added a stick of butter so that I would make sure there's plenty of fat in here not to dry these out. You can see they're really, really golden, lots of extra butter in here that they kind of floated around in to make it extra healthy. Ain't here to help you lose weight. And so I know from experience that this is about 4 cups. And so I'm just gonna cut these up with a chef knife. All cut up. I'd say measure with your heart, but this is a lot of really good meat here, so I'm just gonna measure the 4 cups that I need, and then I'm gonna save the rest for some other stuff. I'm gonna add a little bit of that butter back in here. Why not? All right, now we need to make our roux. Now, you can cook this in the house on your stove. I just prefer to be outside. So I'm gonna get my little burner going here. I'm gonna start out with a stick of butter. So equal parts butter and flour, basic roux. Once this gets melted down, I will incorporate the flour. Butter's melted. Let's incorporate and mix this flour quick. You want to cook this flour for a couple of minutes here. All right, now that flour's cooked a little bit, we're gonna pour in some chicken stock, stir really quick. You might want to use a whisk. I just don't love using a whisk. All right, we want to bring this up to a simmer, and then we're going to add some really nice Parmesan cheese. All right, now we're at a simmer. Let's add a bunch of Parmesan cheese, because why not? Add some richness and some deliciousness. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the fire, let that melt in. So it's time to compile everything. So we've got ourselves a big baking dish here. Put a little cooking spray on it. We're using duck fat to stay with the poultry theme. Now, this is a pretty basic tetrazzini. I would consider this a base. If you want to add things like sautéed mushrooms, I've seen broccoli in it, crazy things like peas, whatever you want to put in here, you can. So I would use this as a base and add to it as you like. But you need to boil some pasta. So we've done that here. So we've boiled this pasta, just cooked it al dente. If I was making spaghetti for my kids, I'd be cooking this for about 10 minutes, but in this case, we just cooked it about 7. You still want it to have a little bit of crunch, because we're going to be baking this in this casserole dish. Okay, we need a little bit of seasoning in this roux, so we're gonna go with our Blanco. I always say, Blanco is your salt and pepper replacer. This is salt, pepper, onion, garlic, deliciousness. So anytime a recipe calls for salt and pepper, simply reach for your Blanco. Our seasoned salt is another good option as well. So we're gonna stir that in. We're gonna pour this creaminess all over this with all the turkey combined. We're gonna mix it up and then we're gonna move into baking it. Let's incorporate that turkey. A lot of turkey in this one. This one's gonna be hearty to say the least. All right, in with the sauce we go. All right, let's just get this all nice and mixed up, and then naturally we're gonna top it with some more cheese. Wish y'all could smell this. All right, you need to top it with more cheese, because why wouldn't you? If my kids were here right now, they would make me grate this entire thing. In fact, this is probably from their spaghetti. Good news is I'm gonna try to make this their dinner this evening, so we'll see. Oh, look at that in the wind. That's what you call playing the slice. Now we've got this all compiled. It's super easy from here. You need to bake this at 350 for an hour. You could do it in your oven. Obviously, we're going to be cooking outside. We're on the Traeger Woodridge, newer grill. Love this grill. Great price point, uses very few pellets. It's a great option for a weeknight meal such as this. So in we go for an hour. I'll see you then. Well, it's been 1 hour. It's time to pull the Tetrazzini out of the Traeger. Woo, yeah, golden brown. That looks awesome. Obviously, this is gonna be atomic. We gotta let this cool off. So got myself a nice white wine, and I think I'll have a few glasses of wine while I let this cool off. All right, waited long enough. It's time to give this a try. Pretty excited about this. My kids are pretty picky, and I feel like they'll eat this. I can tell you the one that shot the turkey is definitely gonna eat this. He has no choice. Look at that cross section. It's for you, Big Jake. Whew, little errant piece of turkey. Haven't tried the wild turkey yet. Damn. That's good. Okay. Big, gotta get all the components here. Gotta get the turkey, the noodles. Can't help but get the cheese. Here we go. That's a big old bite. I ain't mad at that. That is so good. That is serious comfort food right there. I like this wine, but man, wish I had a big glass of milk with that. The simplicity of that, that's so easy. Anybody can make that. But pretty special to take wild turkey, put in the middle of that. Obviously, you could use any turkey you want, but I'll never forget that hunt with Sam with that, and man, that's really good. I guarantee you my whole family's gonna dig that. So you definitely need to make this. Going in the comfort food playlist, like I said earlier, which is growing. We're in that time of year. So you guys check out meatchurch.com. We got all our recipes there. That's where you get all this cool merch. You guys don't have a Headley and Bennett Meat Church apron yet. I don't know what you're waiting on. Anyway, like and subscribe. We're almost to 1 million. Need your help. We'll be there pretty soon. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.